My name is Anairis Quinones, and I am a voice actress for anime. You might have heard me in Attack on Titan, ReZero Season 2, Pokemon Twilight Wings, My Hero Academia, Horimiya, Irregular Magic High School. I think I covered everything. I got into voice acting from my love of acting. I was always really interested in acting when I was a kid, but I was also a very shy kid. But then as I got older, I got more interested in anime, and that kind of fostered my love for voice acting. And one anime that I was really interested in was Fullmetal Alchemist, and I really loved the dub in that. I thought that was really interesting. And I listened to Laura Bailey talk about her process of making her lust voice, and I thought it was so interesting because I thought, oh, well, isn't it just making a sexy voice, because she is a lustful character? But it wasn't that. She had a whole process. There was a whole creativity behind it that I thought was so interesting. And after that became a hobby for me. I found online voice acting communities to join and kind of foster that love for voice acting even more. Then later, 7 years later, it became sort of a side job, and I did a lot of indie projects, a lot of indie games, visual novels, all that sort of stuff. And it was just for fun, but also a little bit of money at the time. And then eventually I booked my first anime, which was Kimono Friends. That was back in 2018, and that was really cool. And I flew into Texas for that because at the time I was living in Florida, and it felt like home in a weird way. But I was still too shy to make the jump because I was like, oh, well, maybe that was just a fluke, Like, maybe I'll never book again. It's fine. I will be in my comfort zone. But then I booked Ruby a few months later, and I thought maybe I should move to Texas. And so I did. And then, here I am a couple years later, getting to be in bigger shows, and it's been a blessing so far. I try to temper my expectations, so I've never really had the expectation of being in Pokemon or My Hero, especially as such a beloved character. So it is surreal and a blessing, I think, because I don't think everyone gets to be in their favorite show, So for me to be in my favorite shows, or some of my favorite shows, and to be playing such cool characters, characters that have really changed the landscape of anime for the community, I think has been a real blessing.
I intend to reach the top as a gym leader and as a model.
Nessa definitely feels personal to me. She means a lot to me, I think, because when I was younger, I was raised by the ocean, so I really loved water. Water is my favorite element, and I loved Pokemon growing up, and I especially loved Misty. I think she was my favorite character, my favorite gym leader. I thought she was really cool. So to, I guess, years later, be able to play a Black water gym leader who reminds me a lot of myself, I think, in how high her aspirations are, is really amazing. And I almost feel like it was meant to be, like she was meant for me, especially in that moment. So Nessa was my biggest one. I was so blessed to play her. I usually do character studies. They are my favorite way to get to know a character. In order to do character studies, I have to research the show. And if I happen to know who the character is prior to the session, then I will do a whole bunch of research on the character, and I will make sure that I understand the motivations of the character, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, try and see what the Japanese did, and take that into consideration. So in order to get in character, I remember when I first recorded for Nessa, I spent some time by the water, just in my thoughts, thinking about how similar she was to me, about where she was, and that helped get me in character for her when I did my session. It's my little ritual for her. It's been a blessing to play such beloved characters and even more beloved franchises. And I feel like in the past year especially, we've been able to see a lot of BIPOC voice actors succeed in this industry. And I just want to say that please take our success as inspiration for you. If you don't see a space for yourself in an industry that you're very interested in, please carve a space for yourself. I promise you that wherever you want to belong, you can belong. All you need to do is just work hard and persevere and, have a hunger to learn. So good luck. I'm Anairis Quinones, and thank you so much for watching.